Jennifer Lawrence, Leonardo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill, and a whole lot more. Netflix did something absolutely brilliant in that they released their new movie, Don't Look Up, with an all-star cast on Christmas Eve. That's actually brilliant because with Omicron and so many people choosing not to spend Christmas outside and just probably stuck at home without family, needing something to watch, this is the perfect, most strategic decision of all time. And that's what me and my wife did last night, actually. So we were stuck at home. We couldn't spend time with family. Everyone's in a different country. So we said, let's watch this movie. It doesn't look like a particular Christmassy movie per se, but let's check it out. Now, it's true we both fell asleep at some point, but that's just because we were tired. It's not a boring film. I woke up this morning and I finished the movie on my own just so I could get this review out to you guys as soon as possible. Now, what did I think of the movie? It's pretty interesting. So it's a dark comedy, science fiction, end of the world, post-apocalyptic. You know me, I love post-apocalyptic movies. All the big destruction, full-on tsunami movies from Day After Tomorrow to 2012 to Greenland. But this one is more philosophical, and it's all about how we as a human race would take the news and react to the news of the world coming to an end. The premise is that there's a comet coming that's going to kill us all in 6 months. And of course, no one believes Lawrence and DiCaprio, who are the two astronomers of our story. So it's a pretty cool concept. And the film is not boring. The film is actually wildly intriguing and super amusing and witty. Lots of great dialogue, sharp dialogue, funny. It's not laugh out loud, but it's just very satirical and dark. And spoiler alert, so if you haven't watched the movie, skip this video or just jump to the rating at the end. The comet does actually land at the end and basically destroys all life on Earth. I kind of knew that the movie wasn't going to chicken out of this, which was pretty cool that they went there. But it's also pretty dark. It's not your feel-good Christmassy movie in any way. It's basically there to shed light and highlight just how greedy and selfish we are as a human race, and that how we don't come together in times of need. But it always has that extra joke at the end, because as we see Meryl Streep's character, the president, who feels very Donald Trumpish, and the role is actually hilarious, she gets to leave the planet along with a bunch of other rich people and meets a certain fate out there, which we'll discuss in a bit. But it's not a happy ending, that's for sure. Now, the cast is definitely the film's selling point. So you've got DiCaprio and Lawrence playing the astronomers. Lawrence gets the shorter end of the stick. Her role isn't too exciting. DiCaprio gets some hilarious outbursts all throughout, and he really grounds the movie. But the showy roles of the movie belong to Meryl Streep as the president. She's definitely inspired by Donald Trump, and she's hilarious. And yet she makes you very uncomfortable because you just see how sleazy and morally corrupt she is. Her son, Jonah Hill, is hilarious, but also in a very depressing way, because you assume that that's probably how Trump was with his kids, and that's how they were running the show. So it's just annoying. Kate Blanchett, I didn't even recognize for the first 20 minutes I saw her on screen. She plays a newscaster, a really stuck-up, vain newscaster, and she's just really good. She plays the role perfectly. And a real standout for me is actually Mark Rylance, who plays Peter. Peter being this tech guru who's kind of like, he runs an Apple-like company, kind of like Tim Cook, and you basically see how greedy these corporations are, because they try to, because they actually want to take advantage of the comet and mine it for its resources, and that's what basically ruins the defense plot. You've also got Timothée Chalamet, who is recently the star of Dune. His role might be the most forgettable. I didn't think he added too much to the movie, but it's just cool to see so many familiar faces in the movie all throughout. The film also hilariously features an appearance by Ariana Grande as a pop star, no less. Not a very likable one, but that's the whole role. But it adds that whole real-world factor. The film actually showcases social media and the power of the media in really intriguing ways, in very accurate ways, so that makes it pretty powerful. Funnily enough, the movie, much like a Marvel movie, has a mid-credit sequence and a post-credit sequence. So the mid-credit sequence, if you missed it, is hilarious, because you see the spaceship where the president and all the other chosen Richies arrive on another planet, and then the president proceeds to get her face eaten off by a wild animal, which fulfills the prophecy that Peter had told her about earlier. And the end credit sequence is her son being the last man on Earth, actually surviving and calling out for mommy, and then documenting his position as the last man on Earth online. So it's actually really cool. Now, nevertheless, I recognize that in terms of comedy, the movie isn't for everyone. It's not your typical, laugh out loud humor. It's very satire infused and witty, and people might feel like it's too smart for its own good. I personally really enjoyed it. I was basically grinning the entire time. There's nothing laugh out loud funny, but I just really enjoyed the style of the humor. But I can totally see people hating it and getting completely annoyed by it. If I had any criticisms about the film, and that's like the one thing that stops it from being an all-out great, unforgettable movie, is the fact that emotionally it didn't get me so invested that I actually felt something at the end. Like, it's kind of forgettable when I think about it now. I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, but nothing really made it feel so stand out and powerful and thought-provoking. It just ends up being enjoyable and entertaining, but not much more than that. Part of me kind of feels like such an epic cast deserved a bit better. So all in all, I would give the movie a 7 out of 10. It's enjoyable, it's nothing groundbreaking, but it's definitely entertaining. Let me know what you thought of the film. Comment, like, subscribe, turn on notifications for my next video. Let me know.